We are in Algebra 1, Lesson 4-2, Slope-Intercept word problems. Today's date is Friday, October 30th, 2020, the day before Halloween. For the record, because this YouTube video might be online for a while, I'm wearing the dinosaur costume today. Anyway, objective. Oh, Diego beat you to it.
I identify Q2 of a slope-intercept equation based on context.
There it is. All right, so let's do example number 1. Who wants to, Yesenia, do you want to read your own problem? Go for it.
Yesenia took a loan from a bank. D represents Yesenia's remaining debt in dollars after T months. D equals negative 300T plus 6,000. What was the size of Yesenia's loan? How much did Yesenia pay off after 3 months?
There it is. All right, so these problems are definitely a little bit harder. Let's make sure that we make sense of this. So the remaining debt. So this capital D is going to be going down after Yesenia pays off her debt. All right, so our question again is, what is the size of Yesenia's loan? The initial amount of money that she asked for. According to this equation, capital D is equal to negative 300T plus 6,000. I mean, it's one of those two numbers, right? What was the size of Yesenia's loan? Raise your hand if you think you know what it is just from that equation. I have 1 hand, 2 hands, 2.5 hands, 3 hands, 4 hands, and an elbow, 5 hands. Giorgio, go for it.
6,000?
It is indeed 6,000. This makes sense because if you think about it, $6,000. Why is my pen not working? There it goes. $6,000. If that is your starting amount, then I'm going to be going down because I have a negative slope. I have 6,000, then I'm going to be going down $300 every month, minus 300 from that 6,000. So everyone write down the initial size is $6,000. That's the y-intercept, your starting amount. So I can even write up here, this is your starting amount. You start with $6,000. Okay. And then what's going to happen with Yesenia after 3 months? How much is she able to pay off her loan? One person has their hand raised. I'm waiting for more thinking time. 2 people have their hand raised. After 3 months, how much has she paid off her loan? Ripley. You're correct, but how'd you get that? 300 times 3. So essentially you're plugging 3 in the place of T. T represents the number of months. If it's 3 months, T must be substituted out for 3. 3 is now inside of this T, so it's going to be this negative 300 times 3. And as Ripley said, 300 times 3 is 900. And it really should be a negative 900, but because you're paying that off, that's why it's the negative 900. I have $6,000 of debt, and now I have $900 less of debt because Yesenia has paid $900 off. So the full answer here in context is just $900, not negative 900. She's paid off 900. Yes, Jose.
Or you can say negative 300 minus negative 900.
Minus the negative, yeah, to make it positive. Yeah, there you go. That works too. All right. And again, these are all context questions, so they are a little bit difficult. Next year. All right. Yeah. Example number 2. Zeke, do you want to read your own question?
I am working on an underground base mine shaft. I'm leaving my base to dig downwards to create a mine shaft. A represents my altitude relative to the ground in blocks after T minutes.
Yeah, just read that first question then.
How far underground is each underground base?
Okay, so he's in his base right now. Everyone kind of understands the question. He's in his underground base, and then from his underground base, he's going to dig down even further. He's already underground and he's going to go underground further. So again, it's kind of an initial amount question. How far underground is Zeke's underground base to begin with? Sorry, Giorgio, I probably won't call on you for the rest of the lesson. You know this too well. But definitely, by all means, continue this lesson as far as you can, and then just check your work as we're moving on along. Yeah, Ripley. It is in negative 23, yeah. Negative 23, and what are our units in this case? Is it meters, feet? Careful. Blocks. And I guess if you're really a Minecraft enthusiast, I think each block is a meter by a meter. So maybe you're right by saying 23 meters, but I'm going to go ahead and say 23 blocks. I don't actually know how big a Minecraft block is. I assumed it was a meter, but it might not. Okay, perfect. Metric, way better than imperial. Okay. Again, this is an initial amount, your starting amount. Our starting amount over here, I'll write it again. Our starting amount is this negative 23. Whenever they're asking you a starting amount question, what did you start with? Where was your initial elevation? Anything like that, it's going to be your y-intercept. Okay, a slightly different question now. How fast does Zeke descend? How fast does he go down? And my units are going to be blocks per minute. Ooh, if you see the word per, that should make you think of something. I've told you time and again, per means the same thing over and over again. Alden. Yeah, and then you'll have to be careful. So you're correct by saying down 25, but if you just had to have a number with no words up or down, you'd say positive or negative, I guess is the question. Yeah, negative. Negative means down, right? And then positive would be up. So you'll say negative 25 blocks per minute. And again, she's correct because using the word per, you should all think per means slope. Every time you see the word, you should be thinking slope. Or if you're thinking of the word fast, how speed, velocity, all of these words, I'll write them off to the side here. Speed or velocity. All of these words, fast, speed, velocity, they all mean slope. And slope, again, is the coefficient of our equation. Our coefficient of our t variable in this case is 25, the number out front of the variable. That's our coefficient. All right. And then our last question for the front side at least, right? We have one more question on the back side. How many blocks will Zeke descend after 4 minutes? Very, very similar to a previous question that we've had. Yes, Yenya. You're correct. How'd you get that?
Negative 25. And then I replaced the t with the 4. So negative 25 times 4.
4. Yep. So again, let me rewrite all of the work. So you had negative 25t. That was our slope with the variable. You plugged in 4 because it says 4 minutes. So it's going to be negative 25 times, or negative 25, Mr. Sindel. Negative 25 times 4. And that's going to be negative 100. So you can either say negative 100 as just your answer, or you can say down 100 blocks. Either way works. So down 100. Down is the word that means negative. So you can say down 100, or you can say negative 100. Both of those are valid answers. You'll have to be careful about how Khan Academy is asking it. If it already has the word down, you might just have to put 100. Give me a fist of 5 on how well you are following up to example 2. Have I lost anyone? Most people are giving me 5s. Is anyone giving me a 4? There's a 4. Is anyone 3 or below? Where are you at right now? 3. Okay. Do you have a question that you can ask? No? Just trying to get the hang of it? Okay. Any questions before we move on? All right. Our third and final example, no student name in here. And this is just the very typical SAT question. There's a lot here to read. Someone help me out. Who wants to read for me, please? Haiti, please. There it is. And then go ahead and read the question too. Wow, that is a hard question. It's not asking what is your initial amount. It's not asking for the 32. It's not asking for the speed, 1.8 for every Celsius. It's asking, hey, if Celsius has changed by 20 degrees, how much has Fahrenheit changed? What are we going to do? Yeah. So I'll let you guys do some quiet thinking. And then once you think you have an answer, I'm looking for quiet raised hands. I see one hand is up. 20 degrees Celsius. I'll kind of underline the key information. The key information that we're given is that 20 degrees is Celsius. So 2 people have their hand raised. So far it's Alden Ripley. 3 people have their hand raised. Giving you a little bit more time to think about how you'd solve this problem. Yes, Ashley, go for it. You are correct. Yeah, how are you going to use those two? There it is. Yeah, so Ashley's saying, I see 1.8 times C, and C represents Celsius. It says right up here, C is degrees Celsius. Since we're given Celsius is 20, I can substitute, or she can substitute 20 in for the place of C. You can multiply them together. So we saw 1.8 C. She substituted 1.8, and now that's going to be a 20. You can use your calculators if you want, but this is something that we can definitely do just on paper. If I want to do 1.8 times 20, I can do 1.8 times 20. So 0 is just going to move the decimal place over to the right. So another trick is I can do 1.8 times 2 and then move the decimal place. So 2 times 8, 16, 6 and 1, that's 16. 2 times 1 is 2, add the 1, I get 3. Move the decimal place back once and none there, so just one, so 3.6. But then I said because of that additional 0, we need to move the decimal place once to the right. So the answer here, I'll just leave the arrow here. The answer is 36 degrees Fahrenheit. For every 20 degrees Celsius that I move 36 degrees Fahrenheit. That's our final answer. Thank you. All right, let's come to the very beginning. Our original objective was to identify key features of slope-intercept equations based on context. With our objective, can everyone give me a fist of 5 for this entire lesson? Everyone hold them up. 4, Georgia's probably at a 5 back there, I'm gonna guess, yep. 3, 4, I would say our average is about a 4.1. All right, and that concludes our lesson.